Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and just be on the safe side, hello, it's Lynn here from the Learn English Network, back from the bright lights of Berlin. So, I hope you've all been having fun, well, as much fun as I was having anyway, and if I sound a bit croaky, it's still a hay fever, and probably a long weekend in Berlin that's to blame. And we kick off this week with, from Karthik, a hi, which looks like the German for shark, H-A-I, it should be H-I, capital H, small I, Karthik, full stop. And Karthik then went on to say, how are you? Shouting. I'm not going to shout because of my voice, but you are shouting, Karthik. All capitals is shouting, and it's cheating. You just don't want me to correct your capitalisation. So capital H, and then O-W-R-U, question mark. It's a question, so you always end it with a question mark. I said, I'm fine, thanks, Karthik. What about you? Rafaela said, hello. Good, and you? So just one point. Hello has got double L, not triple L, okay? And one question mark at the end. Zeb came along and said, I wish I could say the same. My week has been so overloaded with extra work that I've had to put on hold my other activities. Hopefully the situation will be temporary. Well, I hope it has been temporary, Zeb, and I hope you're back to normal. Adek came along and said, hello. That would be capital H, and then just one O at the end. Then said, who wants to speak? That would be capital W, Adek, and no space between the K and the question mark, okay? Adek then went on to say, I'm a French student, I would like to study in UK, can you give me informations? Okay, so I'm capital I, a French, capital F for French, student, and I, capital I, would like to study in the UK, because it's kingdom, it's the United Kingdom, so the UK, like United States of America is the United States of America or the USA. And that would be a full stop then. Then can, with a capital C, you give me any information. Okay, information is uncountable, which is one of those things that a lot of French people get wrong. A lot of German people too. Always informations, but it's not. It's information, uncountable. A piece of information, some information, a little bit of information. You can make it countable that way, but otherwise it's just information. And again, no space between the final S and the question mark. Zeb replied and said, hi Adek, will it be part of an Erasmus programme? And we don't know because Adek never came back. So there was somebody wanting to speak, Adek, and you missed it. Dory came along and said hello, but don't forget, even with a simple hello, full stop. And Zeb said, hi Dory. Susu came along and said, hello, anyone here? So, hello, H, capital, E-double-L-O, there's no W in hello, and then anyone, one word, here, question mark. Seb said, you have a funny way to write hello, Susu, I like it. Then Marisu came along and said, hi Adek, I don't know about the UK, but information is a collective word. Has no plural. It is always singular. I hope this info helps. So Marisu, you're quite right. And Zeb said, hi Marisu, I usually use the reply link under a message when I want to reply to someone. Otherwise they may miss it. Exactly. So Marisu said, tuk Zeb, I'll do so. Tuks would be thanks, I presume, which is capital T H-A-N-K-S. Quite often you'll see thanks shortened to TX in text speak. But of course we're here to practice long handwriting. Zeb then said, it means that you may stick around. This is good news. Marisu then said, so very kind of you. We'll be in touch. We. And so I said, hi Marisu, who is we? Are there two of you? One called Marie, one called Sue? I'm not sure, so whichever one it was. Thank you for responding to somebody. It's always nice to see other people respond. It really is. Then Abhishek came along and said, hello, everyone. Okay, so hello was fine, and everyone is one word, and no need for capitalisation, and a full stop. I replied, hi Abhishek, have you listened to this week's corrections? Abhishek said, no, I don't know how to use. So that would be capital I. No, I don't. Don't is a short form, so it's D-O-N apostrophe T, and then I don't know how to use it. Zeb said, do you mean that you can find it? I think you meant, do you mean that you can't find it? If so, it's on the top of the page. It's the black box called 2014 or 2014-0603, which is 2014 June the 3rd or June the 3rd, 2014. LEN live chat. But if you don't know how to active it, I think you mean activate it, ACTIVATE, then you just have to click on the play button, the triangle in the circle. Does it help? Well, I hope it did. Amy came along and said, is anyone available to help me with a sentence I'm having trouble with? And Ben said pretty much straight away, with what? That would be the capital W, Ben. And I replied pretty much straight away, go on then. And Amy kept it to herself, so I can't think that it was that important. Adnan Balushi came along and said, hi, I'm Adnan Balushi from Pakistan. So Adnan, capital H for hi, capital I for I am, and Adnan Balushi is your name, so capital A, capital B, and then comma from Pakistan, capital P. Pakistan is a proper noun, always capitalised. Names of countries, names of languages, they're always with a capital. And then full stop. I replied, hi Adnan. Aiki said, hello everyone, or hello everyone. And I said, hi. Then somebody chickened out and went back to guest form and said hello. And I think it was Ben, but I'm not sure what happened. I think maybe you lost your account and then came back again as another person. So it would be capital H anyway. Hello, Ben, said Seb. And Ben said, hello. Oh, how are you? Where are you from? So capital H, beginning of the question. Capital W for where are you from, beginning of the question. And Zeb said, France, are you far away from me? Ben said, yes, I'm in Beijing, China. I work as a research assistant in university. So you'd say, yes, with a capital Y, comma, I'm in Beijing. Beijing is the name of the place, proper noun, capital B. China was fine, but a bit of a space between the comma and the word China. Full stop, then space. I work as a research assistant at a university. Okay, I just say at a university if you don't want to say which one. Zeb then said, does your job involve some travel to attend conferences in your field of research? And Ben said, yes. So, no need for all capitals, Ben. So, capital Y, small e, small s, yes, comma, space, sometimes. And then you said, I will be graduate next year. You can become a graduate, but what you meant there is, I will graduate next year. Okay, so a graduate to graduate. Okay, and Zeb said, would you like to become a researcher, or are you looking for a different kind of job? Anyhow, I replied and said, hi, did you know it's Hug Your Cat Day today? Sorry to be so random, but I was quite amused to find out that little fact. Ben said, relay, I don't know yet. Okay, so really is R-E-A-L-L-Y, and then with a question mark is fine, because then you say, really? And sound interested. And I didn't know that. Okay, you do now, but I didn't know that. Like me, said Zeb, you may not have seen more people hugging their cat on June 4th than any other days. Well, I didn't say it was internationally recognised, did I, Zeb? These things take time to get well known. I replied, didn't you see the poster Matsu posted on G+, which was of two cats hugging, by the way? And Zeb said, not yet, but I will. Well, I could find the post you were talking about, Lynn. Now, I don't know. Does that mean I couldn't find the post you were talking about, Lynn? Or, well, I found the post you were talking about, Lynn? And Zeb also said, where am I going to find a cat? I don't know any here. Oh, you need to get to know them. Then Wayne Ann said, hi there, I'm new, and I hope I learned something here. So, hi there, capital H. I'm is capital I apostrophe M, because it's short for I am. So I'm new, and I, capital I, hope I, capital I, can learn something here. And then a full stop. Smileys do not replace punctuation. Let's learn all together, said Zeb. I would just say let's learn together, Zeb, because all together is more like all together now. All together now. Doodle-doodle-doo. So let's learn together, because together just means everybody. Hi Wayne, I said, did you know it's Hug Your Cat Day today? Which was in response to, I hope I learned something here. So, again, a bit random, sorry about that. Nirav came along and said, hi everyone, is English being taught by native speaker only? Ooh, okay. Hi everyone, full stop. Is English being taught by only by native speakers? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure not, because there's many, many teachers out there who aren't native speakers who are teaching English. So maybe you meant in the forum. Well, we don't teach, we just help you learn. So, and capital E for English. Okay. Hi, Nirav, said Zeb. When I was in school, none of my English teachers were native ones. And Nirav said, agreed, but if you search on internet for English teacher job around the globe, only thing you will find that everybody is looking for a native speaker. Well, sometime it's quite surprising. So, agreed. But if you search on the internet for an English teacher job around the globe, or an English teaching job, so you could say for a job for an English teacher or an English teaching job around the globe, and then the only thing you will find is that everybody is looking for native speakers. Well, sometimes it's quite surprising. Zeb said, I have to admit that I tend to prefer natives for my learning Spanish, but no teachers. I think interacting with natives help me catch the informal way of speaking faster. Okay, so I think that interacting with natives helps me to catch the informal way of speaking, faster. Unless you meant speaking faster, as in with speed. That tends to be driven by the learners, Nirav, I said. You might like to read this article from the magazine, because there is a lot of snobbery amongst learners about, I only want to talk to native speakers, which is a bit silly, really, because you weren't like that as a child. That's not how you learnt your first language. Thank you, said Nirav. I have through the article well. Okay, so I've looked through the article, okay, and then I will get rid of the well. Then in today's time, really, you would say nowadays, okay? Nowadays, with an advent of internet learning has become easy, okay? Nowadays, with the advent of the internet, learning has got easier. I wouldn't say become easy, it depends what you're learning. Once again, thank you, and keep me updating with these kind of articles. Okay, once again, thank you, and keep me up to date with these kinds of articles. I said, I will admit I'm running behind this month, but there should be some new articles next week. Yes, I was basically away, and June's a funny month. I'll be away next week as well. Keep an eye on the calendar, it's about to change. Sorry about that, it's life. So, Nirav then said, I'm looking for some new articles on English language. Okay, full stop. Okay, and I'd say, I'm looking for some new articles on the English language. Full stop. There's plenty on the magazine, there's plenty on the Learn English Network. Just keep looking. Altaf came along and said hi, so capital H Altaf and a full stop, and I said hello. Altaf then said, hi, I would like to learn English, so I, capital I, English, capital E, full stop. I said, hi, Altaf. Altaf is not going to like it, said Zeb. The two of us wrote her name incorrectly. This is true, I did, I'll admit it. And then I wrote, you have to heart the edit button, which is, you have to love the edit button. And Zeb said, I stopped loving the edit button. I used it too much for correcting my mistakes, but often I was just creating a clumsy message and new mistakes. I still like it, but it's not anymore an unconditional love. Okay, so you'd say, but it's not an unconditional love anymore. And I think, yes, the edit button is dangerous for learners because you forget that you made the mistake in the first place. It's why I don't allow people to correct posts on the forum after I've corrected them. There's sort of a cut-off time for correcting your own posts. So you can correct them, but once I've corrected them, I don't like you to correct them again, because then you forget that you did make mistakes, and you know, you do learn from mistakes. You really do, especially if you get corrections, honestly. Anyhow, Shikar came along and said, hi, I would like to converse with someone in English. Okay, don't forget your full stop, Shikar. Good post, though. Hi, Shikar, said Zeb. I'm also in for a chat. But he ran away. Or she, I don't know. Jam came along and said, hello, everybody. I'm here to improve my English speaking. Okay, so capital H for hello, everybody. One exclamation mark if you insist, or just a nice little full stop. I'm here to improve my spoken English. Okay, and English with a capital E. Hi, Jam, said Zeb. We are mostly typing here. That's very true. And Jam came back without replying, but luckily it was the next post, and said, yes, Zeb, I know, but it's the same. I think it's a good way to. Okay, In fact, it's a good way too. I'm not sure how I'd pronounce that. So, yes, Zeb, I know, full stop. No, sorry, yes, Zeb, I know, comma, but it's the same, full stop. I think it's, and that's just IT''S, a good way to, full stop. Zeb said, except for the sounds. How do you get on with the sounds of English? And Jam said, is it normal that it's so long? With a question mark. Okay, you need no space between the G and your question mark, and just one question mark, Jam. What is long? Said Zeb. What are you talking about? I talk about the chat, said Jam. I find it very long slow. Okay, so I'm talking about the chat, full stop. It's very slow. So not I find it very long slow. Long slow? Takes a long time. It's very slow, one or the other. Maybe, said Zeb, because I'm slow at replying, or maybe because it's not exactly a chat room. People usually add Discuss to their website for people to comment, but not for interactive chatting. Yes, I had figured that one out, but I'm still enjoying it, so what the heck. Not at all, said Jam. I don't know. I'm new here, so I'm discovering the website. Excellent. Good for you. And don't forget, full stop. I'm not sure if that's a mark on my computer screen. No, it's a mark on my computer screen. You forgot the full stop. Discovering and exploring its possibilities, I would say, said Zeb. Yes, said Jam, I'm here for that, so it's a good site, I would say. And again, full stop. You're fast to show appreciation, said Zeb. Usually it takes me more time to say whether I like something. No, said Jam, it depends. So no comma, it depends. Full stop. For the moment, I'm pretty satisfied to speak English. So, for the moment, capital F, I'm, capital I, pretty satisfied to be speaking English, capital E. Full stop. I didn't expect that, but you're right. So I think I mean there, I didn't expect it, comma, but you're right, and then don't forget full stop. Honestly, said Zeb, we were a bit lucky to be connected at the same time. Usually a conversation takes place over a day or couple of days, as people are not often in sync. Jam said, so I'm a lucky girl. I hope we'll get so lucky next time. So I'm a lucky girl, full stop. I hope we'll be, in fact, I'd say, I hope we'll be as lucky next time, full stop, Jam. Why not, said Zeb, and question mark really there. Jam also said, I don't have problem to understand English or American people because I watch all US series in original version, but I have problem to express myself orally. So, I don't have a problem understanding English or American people, comma, because I watch TV series in their original version, comma, but I have a problem expressing myself orally, or just I have a problem expressing myself. Yeah. Zeb then said, English pronunciation is not helping us, that's for sure. Helping, Helping. What are your favourite American series? Asked Zeb. Ooh, there are a lot, said Jam. Currently I'm watching Drop Dead Diva, Devious Maids, Black Box. I'm waiting for the new season of Suits and The Good Wife, Grey's Anatomy, etc. Okay, I'd just say that those American TV series should be capitalised, okay? And Zeb replied, I don't know any of the series you mentioned. Devious Maids, what could it be about? What do maids do to be devious? And I had to agree. I said, wow, I'm with Zeb. I've only heard of Grey's Anatomy and The Good Wife. Jam came back and said, lol. Devious Maids is about maids who work for rich people who have secrets. So there are gossip. So there is gossip, or there is a lot to gossip about. Gossip is like information. It's uncountable and it never ends. And then I would put a full stop there, then start with capital I. It's a series. It's not a series. It's a series, which is producers by Eva Longoria. So it's a series produced by Eva Longoria. So it's similar to Desperate Housewives, you know? So I'd say what you were trying to say there. So it's similar to Desperate Housewives. Do you know that one? Because everybody knows Desperate Housewives. And do you watch US series? And again, no space between the last letter of the last word and your full stop or your question mark or your exclamation mark. No need for an extra space. No, said Zeb. I don't watch any US series at the moment. Okay. I'd say, because you said at the moment, I'd say I'm not watching any US series at the moment, okay? And that doesn't mean right now, it means sort of over time, because a series, it's like a book. You don't read a book in one sitting. Well, not often anyway. And you don't watch a TV series in one sitting. Well, not often anyway. So you use that form, I'm not watching any US series, I'm not reading a book, or I am reading a book, or I am watching Desperate Housewives. Okay, but I used to watch Scrubs and The Big Bang Theory, said Zeb. Ah, I love The Big Bang Theory, said Jam. That's funny, especially Sheldon. So, capital I, Big Bang Theory, again, capitalised. Look how Zeb wrote it. And it's funny. I love The Big Bang Theory. It's funny, especially Sheldon. Capital S for Sheldon, because that's his name. I agree, said Zeb. The guy is awesome. So I agree, comma, the guy is awesome. Do you also watch some British series? No, I don't know yet, said Jam. Maybe no, comma, I don't know any. And it's easier for me to hear American accent than British accent. So, and it's easier for me to understand an American accent, capital A for American, than a British accent, capital V for British, capital B for British. Full stop. Do you have one to advise me? Ooh, I think what you're trying to say there is, can you recommend one? Okay, and then again, watch that. No space before your last bit of punctuation. I don't know any current British series, said Zeb, but I remember 2 old ones that I've enjoyed watching. They're The Good Life and Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. Oh, why aye, lass? Okay, said Jam. Maybe when I have more time, I will watch them. So, I have to go. It was nice to speak with you. Have a nice evening. So, I will watch them, full stop. No need for ... Then, so, capital S, beginning of a sentence, comma, I have to go. It was nice to speak with you. That's fine. It's more natural to say it was nice speaking with you, full stop. And then capital H, have a nice evening, no space, 1 full stop, not 3 exclamation marks. Bye, then said Jam, so capital B, no space. And you could use you could use an exclamation mark if you want to say bye, but bye, full stop would be better. Bye, Jam, thanks for your time, said Zeb. Thanks to you, said Jam. Full stop at the end, as I say, all the time. Smileys do not replace punctuation. Shekhar then said, is it possible to speak with each other? I need to improve on my speaking skills. So Shekhar, is it possible to speak with each other? It's fine. I need to improve my speaking skills. Okay, and full stop. Hi Shekhar, how are you doing? Said Andy. Yes, it is possible to communicate with each other on chat, as I am doing so with you now. So, hi, capital H, Shekhar, capital S, because it's their name, and then full stop. How are you doing? Capital H, O-W-A-R-E-Y-O-U, doing. And then, yes, capital Y, comma. It is possible to communicate with each other on chat, comma, as I, capital I, am doing with you now. I usually take part in a speaking session in Kitely on Thursdays, said Zeb. There are also other speaking sessions run by the network. Have you ever tried any of them? And I replied, FYI, which is for your information. I won't be there this evening, but feel free to meet up anyway. The next session will be Tuesday. Hey, today, which we had. Thanks for the info, Lynn. Shekhar, I'll log in Kitely tonight, said Zeb. Probably later than usual at about 8 p.m. CET. Maybe you could join me there. It seems like you couldn't, Shekhar, Zeb said later. Maybe it'll be for another time. Oh, I hope you weren't all on your own there, Zeb. I hope some of the other guys joined you. Shekhar came along and said, nope, I know nothing about them. I am fairly new to this site. So probably you were talking about the sessions. Always try to keep replying. Reply to the post that you want to talk about. Otherwise it's a bit disjointed. Andy came along and said, hi Shekhar, feel free to ask anything about this site, okay? So you'd say capital H and capital S and then a comma. Feel free to ask anything about this site, full stop. And then I think you went to say okay as a question. So capital O, capital K, question mark, or capital O-K-A-Y, question mark. And that would be okay. Hello Andy, said Zeb. Does it mean that you've been around this site for a while? And I replied, hi Shekhar, don't forget to click on reply in the threads. It makes the live chat recording a lot easier for me. Hence this little disjointed bit. Here is the link to the LEN calendar, said Zeb. It'll give you an idea of the different voice sessions that'll run, and gave a link to the calendar. And Shekhar said thanks. And don't forget, THANKS, not THANX, just in case you do that in a test or in an exam. Aboyaman came along and said hello, and I said hi, Aboyaman. And Zeb said, hello, English teacher. How's your life as a teacher? Does everyone behave themselves or are they giving you a hard time? And I think Zeb must have looked at Aboyaman's profile, which says English teacher. Hashim came along and said hi. Zeb said hi. Hashim, capital H, full stop. Sultan Mahamud came along and said hi. You just need a full stop there, Sultan. Zeb said hi. Vivek Faujdar came along and said hello. So capital H and also hi, just one I, not three. That'll be hee. And you did do the full stop on the one, not on the other. Always a full stop. Zara Abbas came along and said nothing to Vivek, which was very odd. So let's see. Oh yeah, Vivek came along and said, can you help me, guys? So Vivek, capital C and Y-O-U, and then because you're asking for help, can you, question mark at the end. I asked, what help do you need, Vivek? I'm in Berlin at the moment, but I will be around a bit. Berlin, said Zeb. That's a big city. Hope you're having a good time there. Oh, yes, Zeb. Hi, Vivek, said Zeb to Vivek. I can't say. What's the matter? Yeah, that's true. When somebody says, can you help me? You say, well, I don't know. What help do you need? Zara came along and didn't act, just, it's a blank. There's nothing there. Zara, what did you do? Anyhow, hi, Zara. Your avatar wants me to set sail, said Zeb. Hi, Zeb, said Zara. In fact, I like to draw a sea or beach with boats. Okay, so I like drawing the sea or the beach with boats. Something like that. I like to draw a sea. That would be very strange. But if it's like the scenery of the sea, I like to draw seascapes. Might be a good one. Seascapes are sort of the whole thing. Okay. Sea landscapes. Yeah, there you go. Seascapes. You can't call it a sea landscape. It's an oxymoron. Seascapes. They are not always as quiet as in the drawing in your avatar, said Zeb. Do you also draw sea landscapes during windy or stormy weather? So again, seascapes. Yes, that's right, said Zara. Most time I like to draw quiet landscapes, but sometimes I draw a sea in windy climate. Although I do not have a talent, it's just a hobby. So, yes, capital Y, and then the comma, so small t. That's right. Most of the time, capital M, I like to draw quiet landscapes, comma, but sometimes, which is one word, I draw the sea in stormy weather, maybe, rather than a windy climate. Not really. Stormy weather. And then, although I do not have a talent, it's just a hobby. And I'd say you've got talent. You don't have to be a professional to have talent, you know. It can be a hobby. Do you draw from pictures or photos? Asked Zeb. Or do you live along a coast and paint what you see? I'd like to know the answer to that as well, Zara. So come back and tell us. Vivek also said, hi, teacher. And Andy said, hello, Vivek, how may I help you? So Andy, capital H, Vivek is his name, so capital V, full stop. How, capital H, may I, capital I, help you, question mark. Butterfly came along and said, hey. Butterfly, capital H, small I, full stop. Hi, Butterfly, said Zeb. Then Vikas came along and said, Telangana became 29th state of India. Okay, I now know what it means because I joined in this conversation, even though I was in Berlin. See how good I am. Telangana became the 29th state of India, full stop. The birth of a new state, said Zeb. How does this happen? How long did it take? Anyway, welcome to the world, Telangana. And Vikas said, mass of peoples were demanding for a new state, Telangana. So, masses of people... Yeah, peoples is very rarely used. So masses of people were demanding a new state, Telangana. There have been hundreds of claimed suicides, strikes, protests and disturbances to public life demanding separate statehood. Okay. Claimed suicides? I'd just say it's claimed that there have been hundreds of suicides. There have been strikes, protests and disturbance to public life, all demanding separate statehood, full stop. The Parliament of India passed a bill for a birth of new state in July. It took several years. So, the Indian Parliament has passed a bill for the birth of the new state in July. It has taken several years. So, capital I. I mean, you could say it took several years, but it has taken several years. It's not actually happened yet, by the sounds of it. It's going to happen in July, I think. I said, wow, thanks for the heads up, Vikas, and I put in a post to the Times of India that were talking about it. Vivek Vikas came and, oh, that's true, yes, I said Vivek, I'm so sorry, because I'd been talking to Vivek earlier. I do sometimes, that does happen, sorry. So Vikas said, well, Vivek is the most common name in India. It's a word of Hindi language, Vivek, sense. I'm so sorry, Vikas. I did actually call you Vivek, didn't I? So you could have said, well, Vivek is the most common name in India or one of the most common names in India, okay? And then full stop, so new sentence, you need a bit of a space between the last full stop and your next sentence. It, capital I, it's a word, it's a Hindi word, okay? And then Vivek equals sense, that's fine. And Zeb said, is it sense as in making sense or not making sense? And I said, in this context, it was me not making any sense. Said Vikas. The synonyms could be wisdom, intelligence. I think now you should get it, Zeb. So, I wonder, said Zeb. Oh, so, sorry. Well, you can do that in texting speak, but it's UHM. And I would say the other meanings could be wisdom, intelligence. And then I think should be I, capital I. I think you should get it now, Zeb, okay? I wonder, said Zeb, if it's to conjure any potential curses when people give names like this one to their kids. May I know, said Vikas, what makes you think that? Nice way of going, what? Vikas. So capital I. Okay, let me ask you one thing. Maybe next time. Maybe is one word, okay? I was just thinking, said Zeb, that parents may want to say something when they choose a name for a child. For example, and then you put a comma, Zeb. I listened to a podcast a few weeks ago where a guy said that he was named Problem because his father wanted a girl and not a boy. This father thought that it was the beginning of a series of problems, thus the boy's name. Problem is an adult now and wouldn't change his name for anything. He sees himself as a good problem. Oh, wow, fancy being called Problem. I dread to think what my mother would have called me if she'd been honest. Mistake, probably. Anyhow, Vickers then said, I got you. You'd say, I get you, or I understand, okay? But the picture is quite different in India. Here the parents choose such name what they like. Okay, here the parents choose any name they like. The meaning doesn't matter to them in most cases, not in every case. So, the meaning doesn't matter to them in most of the cases, but, so comma, then but, not in every case. Yes, said Zeb, I guess a name also tells something about the culture in which we are born. Names like Xmas, Problem, Blessing, Mercies, No More seem more frequent in Africa than in other parts of the world. Still, in the podcast, there was a girl called E. Yes, just this single letter E. She said something like this, I think once you're given a name, you get used to it, like it's part of you. I quite agree with her. Once you're given a name, in most cases it will define you for a lifetime. It's as if your name grows up as the same pace as you do. Okay, so I'd say it's as if your name grows up at the same pace as you. Vikas said, I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you, Zeb. I always learn a lot from Zeb too, Vikas. Oh, and Vikas came and said to me, who is Vivek? And I replied, sorry, the danger of answering multiple messages. If you look, just scroll down a bit, Vikas, and you'll see that I was responding earlier to Vivek. Okay. And then Mujtaba Abbasi came along and said, why English alphabet are silent letters and what is the reason? Okay, so somebody got a little lost here, I think, but it's okay, it's fine. I replied, and basically, Mujtabi, I know what you mean. I'd say, why are there silent letters in English? And that's, what is the reason is why, so there's no need for, and what is the reason? I replied, we have silent letters in some words, I've written about it here, so there's a whole page on silent letters in the pronunciation files. But to be honest, silent H, the best thing to do is accept it and carry on learning the pronunciation of different words. It would drive you insane if you try to understand it. That's a whole dissertation on silent letters in words, honestly. Hi, Mujaba, said Zeb. And that would be Mujtaba, by the way. I don't know the answer, but could you give me examples of English silent letters? Andy said, in honest, H is silent while speaking, not in writing. No, K is silent while speaking. Okay. Honest, it's silent. And it's always, when you're writing, all the letters are silent because you don't speak them. So, Zeb said, as if there were extra letters in writing. Is it it? Is it it? Or I think you meant as if there were extra letters in writing, isn't it? Yes, it is, said Andy. Those, we call it silent letters. So I'd say yes with a capital Y. We call them silent letters. And I replied, another bit of fun is that there is sometimes a difference between American English and British English. In American English, the H in herb is silent. They really do say herb. And in British English, it forms part of the pronunciation. And I said to Andy, the invisible letter is a different phenomenon and luckily rarer. And I said to Zeb, before you ask, invisible letters are ones that are pronounced but don't appear in the spelling of the word. The most common one is one, because it sounds like it's got a W. And the most famous one, McDonald's, because Mc is MC in McDonald's. It sounds like there should be an A, McDonald's, or a U, McDonald's. Andy said, thanks, Lynn, for the explanation. You're welcome, Andy. So again, capital T, capital L for my name, because it's proper noun, and a full stop. I have never really paid attention to silent and invisible letters, said Zeb. English spelling is so different from its pronunciation that I guess I just put this in the bag I call It's How It Is, Keep Going. I have no more questions. Thanks for this explanation, Lynn. Exactly. Sometimes I'd like to call the way I teach Zen and the art of English language learning, or Zen and the art of language learning. You can move quite quickly if you don't question everything. Question things later once you've learnt everything, and then you can become a linguist. So Andy came along and said, everyone is saying alphabets. Dear, these are letters, not alphabet. Okay. In fact, Andy said everybody. So everybody is saying alphabets. I don't think so. It's only the one. So everybody, capital E, is saying alphabets. Then full stop, dear, capital D, comma. These are letters, not the alphabet. Okay. Because we talk about the alphabet or the alphabet. I always say the because it's a vowel following it, the alphabet. And then full stop. One full stop. What do you mean, said Zeb? I don't get what you want us to understand. I think he was just saying it's in reply to Mushtaba that it's not English alphabet, it's why in English are there silent letters. There's no such thing as a silent alphabet, okay? Anyhow, Dear said, those who seek pleasure spent much time and energy gossip, which form will come written in bracket. I wrote, the sentence is wrong, dear. It should be, those who seek pleasure spent much time and energy on gossip, and those who seek pleasure spent much time and energy gossiping. Now, you tell us what you think the correct answer is, and then we will help you. Zohaib came along and said, hi everyone, how are you friends? I'm sorry, Zohaib, I was very busy that day. Basta came along and said hi, and Zeb said hi, Basta. Expert came along and said the verb spend is the correct answer because it is a regular habit. Quite right, Expert. And Zeb said, hi, Expert. An isolated sentence in the middle of plenty. I'm not sure I can easily find who you were replying to. BTW, which is by the way, and just for the fun of it, I have an Australian friend that defines expert as follows. An X is a has-been. A spurt is a drip of water under pressure. Or in Oz, a drip is a fool. Put him under pressure and he is effing useless. Oh, Zeb. Anyhow, drip in the UK is more somebody who's not very forceful personality. He's a bit of a drip, would be somebody who's not very noticeable. We call people wet as well, believe it or not. Oh, he's so wet. And it's not a compliment, shall I say. But it's not a fool. It just means somebody who's not that interesting and a bit boring, basically. Sorry. But anyhow, I'm sure that Zeb was not calling expert a spurt. Expert then said, I'm fine, Zohaib, but without replying, so I'm not sure where that came from. Also said, Expert said, teacher, I'm sorry as I'm not supposed to answer that question regarding the simple present tense. I offer my apology again, sir. I hope you listen to this, Expert, and decide to revise your sir, although Zeb will be very delighted that you said sir. I replied, don't worry about it, Expert. I don't answer questions like that because I like to see a bit of effort go into answering it. But what you do is up to you. However, it is best to use the reply function just under each post. Then Zohaib said, good morning everyone. So you're doing really well, Zohaib, but everyone with a small e, okay, because it's not somebody's name unless you know somebody called everyone. I said, good morning, Zohaib. Zeb said, good morning, Zohaib, what are you up to? And Zoeb said, I was busy in exam last 2 weeks. Aha. So you could say I was busy doing exams for the last 2 weeks, or I was busy in exams for the last 2 weeks. How did you get on, asked Zeb. Do you think you did well? And I replied to Zeb, that is such a difficult question to answer, Zeb. Did you used to hang around outside the examination hall to carry out an examination autopsy? Zeb then said, I can't remember, it was such a long time ago. If it were today, I'd probably just escape the place as fast as possible. You couldn't see me for dust at the end of exams. I'd usually be found in the bar and I'd refuse to talk about any of my answers, or I just didn't want to know if I'd missed a question or given the wrong. I didn't want to know because it's too late. You can't do anything about it by then. So I'd just be glad the exam was over. So Zoeb said in reply to Zeb's question, did you do okay? Yes, I think I do well. Okay. So yes, capital Y, I think I did well. Okay. Because it's in the past, your exam is finished. I hope I will take good marks. You can't really take them, can you? Or we'd all do it. We go, well, thank you very much, I'll have those good marks. So you have to say, I hope I will get good marks. Zeb then said, when will you get the results? And for exams, we always say the results. I don't know why, but anyway. Zoeb said, well, after 3 months, I will get results. It was my final year papers. Okay, so after capital A, I will get my results. Full stop, capital I, new sentence, it was my final year papers, or it was my final year, I just leave it at that, okay? What will happen next, asked Zeb, in September? Will you register for another year in uni, maybe on a different field? Okay, maybe on a different field. I suddenly had Zoe running around playing football, maybe in a different field, okay? Otherwise it's on a surface, yeah? And therefore he'd be running around playing football or rugby or something. Zoeb said, no more degrees. I'm trying to get job as soon as possible. So, no more degrees, capital N. I'm trying to get a job as soon as possible. I'll send you that song, Zoeb. I was looking for a job and then I found a job and heaven knows I'm miserable now. So, no, I'm sure you'd be great. Jobs are great. Zeb then said, time to make a living for yourself. I'd just say time to make a living. Usually after graduating, I used to go away for a few days with friends to celebrate the end of exams. Okay, so usually after graduating, with a T, not D. That's perfect, the rest of it. Is it also something people do where you are? Zeb said, here there is no chance of celebrating the end of exams. It just wait for result. So here, capital H, and then we just wait for the results. Zeb said, what are times for celebrations in Pakistan? There must be special occasions when people go out together for singing, playing music and having fun. What are they? And then Zeb said, Zeb, tell about job resumes. Are there effect on candidate selection? Okay. Is there effect on candidate selection? So I think you meant job resumes. Okay, and we'd say CVs because this is British English and it's short for curriculum vitae. It's much more fun than resumes, which is American English, by the way. And I'd say full stop there, and then do they have an effect on candidate selection? Absolutely they do, but the biggest effect on candidate selection, who do you know? Zeb said, for me, the resume is the same as a business card. It has to be written and handed out carefully, but largely. I'd say it has to be written and handed out carefully, but largely? I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe profusely, as in you hand out a lot of them? Anyhow, when someone gives you a ring after picking up your card among hundreds of them, they already have an excellent idea about your competences in your field, thanks to your resume. So in your field, comma, thanks to your resume. Please tell the website where I can get resume format, said Zoeb. So you'd say, please tell me about a website where I can get a resume format or where I can get a CV format. Search for CV as well, Zoeb, okay, because that will extend your search. Andy said, just write on Google best resume sample for blah, blah, blah in Pakistan. So just capital J and Google, because it's the name of a company, capital G. Okay. And Pakistan, capital P, of course. Then full stop. Then fill, capital F, fill in the blank with the name of the position you, YOU, want to apply for. I, capital I, hope you, YOU, get it. Else do let me know. Do let me know. I don't know where else came from. Do let me know. And then good luck, GOODLUCK. Resume templates may differ from one country to another, Zoabe, said Zeb. For example, the template for a French resume is totally different from the British one. Yeah, because we have CVs. I absolutely don't know what modeles of resume you use in Pakistan. So absolutely, it ends with TELY, and models, there's no second E there, it's just MODELS. Okay, or what styles I'd use rather than models. Zeb, said Zoabe, generally everyone uses different formats of resume. So generally everyone uses a different format. I'd say that's enough, okay? Full stop. There's no particular format for different areas. Capital T, because it's a new sentence. Zoabe then replied to Zeb about celebrating. There are Patriotism Day, which we celebrated through national songs. In other occasion, there is some ceremonies of marriage and cultural. So there are Patriot Days, capital T, or there is Patriotism Day, which we celebrate through national songs, full stop. On other occasions, there are some ceremonies for marriage and cultural events, I'd put. Cultural what? Yeah, cultural events. Our national day is in France, said Zeb, is July 14th. When is it in Pakistan? Zoabe said, Zeb, tell me about some famous places of France. So Zoabe, capital F. Maybe another time, said Zeb. I'll stop chatting. Bye for now, Zoabe. Yeah, remember, people sometimes are sort of on their way to work, or they've got to go and get on with some work, or their boss is watching what they're doing on the computer. Zoabe said, bye. How is your eyesight? It is working, right? Okay. Bye is okay if you want to be dead cutesy, but bye is better. And then full stop. How is your eyesight? Question mark. Is it working okay? Okay. Question mark and capital I. My brain still needs to adapt to contact lenses, said Zeb, but yes, it's working. Good. Bye. Okay, so yes, it's working well. Okay, that's the difference between good and well. It's all good or it's working well. Bye. And then 14th August, said Zoabe, which is, of course, the celebration of independence. If I'm not wrong, said Zeb, it's the day when Pakistan set itself free from the British Empire. And Zoabe said yes. So that would be a capital Y, Zoabe. Okay? Good conversation. Well done. Nirav came along and said, can somebody tell the difference between morphemes and phonemes? So, can anybody tell me the difference, or can anybody tell me what a morpheme and a phoneme is? Maybe it was the right thing to ask there. Ed actually replied first and said, not sure about morpheme, but I think phonemes are the sounds a language has. Quite right. And I replied, as Ed said, phonemes are the sounds that words and parts of words make, and in linguistics a morpheme is part of a word which has meaning but can't be divided into a smaller meaningful part. And then I wrote a little joke, which I got from the internet. It's not my joke. A phoneme walks into a bar, because it sounds like fun, and a morpheme walks into bars. Sorry. Thank you, said Nirav. Andy replied and said, a morpheme is the smallest unit of language that has meaning. For example, cats has 2 morphemes, cat singular and s plural. Uneventful has 3 morphemes, event, full and un. Each morpheme changes the meaning of the word. A phoneme is the sound that can change the meaning of a word. For examples, cat and cut are 2 different words because they have 2 different phonemes, the sound A and the sound U. Andy, thank you, said Nirav. I really appreciate your explanation. Can we talk on Skype sometime? Okay, so full stop after explanation and Skype capital S, okay? And Andy hasn't replied yet, but again, it's up to people if they want to take it from live chat into Skype. They might not want to. Don't take it as an insult. It's just the way it is. And Andy, thank you for your help. It's really nice to have somebody helping out. It's great. And that kind of brings us to the end of live chat. I wrote live chat and the date just to show where I was up to. And Vikas came along and said, hi teacher, how are you? We don't tend to shorten how are you, okay? How are, it's so difficult. Try it. Try saying how are you? So just use the full form for how are you. I wrote, I'm very well, Vikas, how are you? Oops, sorry, I forgot to press post. Yes, I did reply to your, and then I just left it there because I just pressed return. And there's a problem with text chatting for a while. whilst I was away. If you press return, it sends the message, but of course it doesn't do that in Discuss. So that was why there was quite a delay. I'm fine, said Vikas. Thank you. It seems that nobody is here to talk on the scheduled time, at the scheduled time, at a point in time, at the scheduled time. And I said, hi Vikas, yes, Discuss seems to be a bit slow today. Maybe it's the weather. It's very hot here. The perception of time might be different for different people, said Zeb. G'day, Vikas. Is that my Australian accent then? G'day, mate. And I said, it is, Zeb. I'm finding it difficult to adjust from Berlin time. Berlin time was wonderful. It's a very laid-back place. Zeb, you'd love it. Keep it cool, said Zeb. It's no good running after time. You'll never catch it up. And I said, yeah, like a hamster on a wheel. Oh, said Zeb, I thought a hamster liked running on a wheel. And I replied, I'm never sure. Like versus feels obliged to. And Zeb replied to that with, options are limited in a cage. I don't think I'll ever use the comparison with a hamster on a wheel. Yeah, exactly. It's like they've got nothing else to do, whereas I've got lots of things I could be doing other than what I do. Andy came along and said, good afternoon, Lynn. How are you? I always try to find out the live chat session, but unfortunately I never got it. Please mention the specific time for the live chat in email. Thanks. Okay, so Andy, it's always the same time, and it starts at 10:30 Berlin time, okay? Then there is also live chat in Skype, which starts at 11:30 Berlin time, so Central European summertime, okay? So you'd write good afternoon with a capital G, Lynn with a capital L, full stop. How, with capital H, how are you? Then I always try to join the live chat session, and then comma, but I've never been here on time, okay? So capital I again. Then capital P, please could you tell me the specific time for live chat in an email? I'll just reply to you here. I don't tend to use email because it's all full of phishing and scams and offers of drugs that I don't need, so I avoid email. The forum, yeah, live chat, Discuss, Google+, even Skype, and Facebook. Occasionally I get messages in Facebook. I always try to reply, okay? But not email. Email's dead. That's what my nephew said. Oh, Auntie Lynn, email's dead. It's so old. What do I know? And that's it for this week. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to be back. Tomorrow the sessions will run as normal till Friday, where there will be a TGIF, and then I'm afraid I am away for another week. So I'll try to do a live chat next week recording, but I probably won't be able to actually chat with anybody because we've got visitors. It depends. If they have a lie-in, if they sleep in, then I'll pop online and have a chat. But otherwise I'll be entertaining visitors. Okay, so thank you for listening, and we will speak anon, and hopefully we'll chat again in one of our sessions or on the forum somewhere else. Well, who knows? Just remember, it's the practice that really makes it fun, and it makes your brain sit up and take notice and think, oh, okay, I better remember some of this stuff. Don't worry too much about all the little rules and regulations. There's something you can learn later once you've got a feel for the little rules and regulations. Zen and the art of language learning. It just is. Bye.